talk about that from the beginning, and then we'll just go into whatever.
Whatever.
hmm Welcome to another episode of Hoosier Nerds podcast.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
This is where you say hello back, everyone.
Wow, they failed.
Ugh. That's
Wow.
why I don't trust anyone anymore.
No, we can't trust anybody. Don't say hi back.
This is why we have trust issues.
Yes.
All right. Well, as we all know, because we're all nerds, Game of Thrones is back, baby.
The #1 show. I saw like a whole bunch of
Already?
yeah, it was the #1 premiere of 2022, of course.
hmm
Hot damn.
Well, that
Was it-
video you shared on Twitter of like that entire
Yeah.
apartment building was watching
The
it.
apartment wasn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I think there's like
Really?
two apartments that weren't watching it.
I wonder if Lord of the Rings might beat it. I doubt it. but-
No.
I think less people have Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that's true.
And they care less about, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is kind of older. The Hobbit might have killed a lot of the younger fans.
Could be.
Or that they movies just sucked. One or the other.
All right, let's get into it. Who is our favorite? Who was our favorite character? I don't know.
What are the theories? How
Syraxes or whatever. That was mine. He was cool.
What is it? House of Dragons? That's what it's called?
Yeah,
Game of Dragons. Game of
I have
Dragons.
yet to. I don't know the character names yet.
I know that was like one thing.
Targaryen?
Yeah, that was like
Yeah.
one thing I was thinking of the whole time. I'm like, this is like a whole new set of characters. Besides some of their last names, of course, you can recognize them. But
Yeah.
it's like, man, I gotta learn all these new characters again. Like you don't know nothing about them besides their last name.
Of course, I like Daemon Targaryen because it's Matt Smith, Doctor Who.
Yeah,
Um.
I like the Otto Hightower.
Yeah,
I know him.
Which one's Otto
Uh,
Hightower?
the Hand of the.
Hand of the King. Yeah.
Okay.
I
He's
like
the
Graham McTavish is the one King's Guard that's protecting the daughter.
Who's
She called him sir.
So Damon, he's the one that wants to be king, but it just goes around and dismembers people, right?
Yes, he was
Oh,
the
that was
head of the
epic.
Gold Cloaks.
I was like, bring out your dead from freaking Monty Python.
Yeah, that was an epic scene. Like,
That-
no, because like
the anal
whole-
reaming was a little harsh.
yeah.
What about the cutting off of the
Jeez.
balls?
Yeah, that too.
I mean, if that doesn't stop you from murdering and raping, I don't know what will. I would see that like hell no.
Maybe we should reintroduce that into the prison system,
Thief off with the hand, gouge the eyes out or something.
Man, that was brutal.
The one I don't know. It might be because it's just the first episode. I really like how we don't have to memorize like 20 characters in the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
They
slowly
kept
build
it
up, I'm
pretty
sure.
small.
It does, but it seems like it's going to be a little more focused than Game of Thrones.
I
At
just
least, go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, because
speaking of speaking of characters, it didn't really like point out like, oh, this guy is he's this position or something. It was just like I mean, it did it for a few of them, but not all of them. Like we had to figure that out, most of it on our own. Like I don't know who that core that the guy with dreads is.
He's a
yeah.
Targaryen. He's married to at the very beginning. He's married to the queen that would have been, or the queen that never was.
Yeah. So he's just he doesn't do anything.
He's a Targaryen cousin or whatever.
Oh, okay.
We got to see what, 2 dragons?
Well, yeah, because that guy took off on a dragon at the end, right? That was the other one.
Yeah, that was it. We never saw that type of dragon. It
That
had
was Caraxes.
Caraxes.
I remember Daenerys' brother mentioned him.
Yeah. I like how we're just going over like what we liked about the episode. We're not really. I guess there's not much to talk about other than
Well, there were boobies,
it wasn't
That's
but
compared
hold
to the
on.
last series. Not really.
hold on. We had boobies, but I'm going to quote this show already because he said, "God giveth and God taketh away." So you know we're going to see wieners before too long.
Wiener.
I don't know how do you connect that to wieners?
Because they give us boobies. It's like the show, man. They gave you
Ugh.
boobies early on, and then it was nothing but wieners after that.
I don't know about that.
I mean,
I don't think they're going to go too heavy into that because they don't really need to.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. They only did that in the last series to kind of hook some people. And then they really got away from it. It's not needed anymore. But I was going to say, I like how the characters are actually like, at least their armor is more to like the books and how they describe them in the books. Like Damon had like the dragon head helmet, and I don't know. I just thought the armor looked a lot better compared to the last one.
Sure. Like I guess the only armor you might be like to the books, I guess, would be at least in the Game of Thrones, the original series. It's maybe like the Roses one, the Prince of Rose.
Oh,
I don't.
the Knight of Roses or whatever, the
Yeah,
gay
Knight
guy.
of Roses, or maybe
well, Jamie had armor.
maybe Jamie. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
The Hound,
And
Brienne.
Rob.
Well, no, but I just thought the armor looked better in this. Like it was more. It just looked
Well,
more
it's a
realistic.
more
to me.
established. You know, the Targaryens ruled, so there was a more of a step. Maybe I don't know. Maybe 172 years later, they're rebuilding everything. I don't know. I can't.
And maybe
that.
they have bigger budget. I mean,
I was gonna
Yeah.
say it's probably more. They just had more money to throw at it this time.
right.
Yeah, this is true.
I'm really curious how I guess how the show will go on. Like how I'm sure Damon. I don't like. I want to look up like the history and like want to see like who's going to be the next king, but I don't want to ruin it. Like because I don't.
I'm
know
not gonna
if,
say anything
Yeah,
because I read the book. This book, that the one that this one's based off
yeah,
of, Fire and Blood.
Yeah, I don't want to be like. I don't want to like spoil it and like know that Damon's going to be the king if he is or not. Like I don't want to, or even if it's still the princess. Like it could be the princess or the queen, I guess.
I like how they gave like the foreshadowing to Game of Thrones because the at the very end when he's talking about the vision that Aegon had about all the Targaryen sitting on the throne save the save the world.
Yeah,
and that was true. They had two Targaryens there, Jon and Daenerys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but who's Jon related to? I know it's like she's his aunt, right? Right?
Yes, Daenerys would have been Jon's aunt.
So which lineage does Jon belong to then?
Of the one we're watching now?
Yes.
Daenerys' brother.
Whoever wins the Civil War coming up. I'm not going to ruin it for you to tell you who wins in the Civil War coming up.
So this should tell us then.
Yes, this will tell us. This will tell you who hasn't read the book, who's Jon's lineage. It's one of 3 people. I'll tell you that.
Well, I've kind of figured that out already.
Oh, so it's between Daemon, Rhaenyra,
Viscera?
No,
his brother.
No, his niece. Prince Rhaenyra, or Princess Rhaenyra. I don't know.
Yeah, and then their aunt, or her aunt, his sister.
So all 3 of them are going to compete for the heir.
More like all 4.
Oh, with the
king.
Yeah, but he has no other. I guess her and the princess. I guess they're one.
Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I just like how this story so far is more focused. Like even in the first episode of the original Game of Thrones, it already
Yeah.
was like, here's 5 different locations. All right, good luck.
Yeah. So, did Otto Hightower send his daughter to the king to like?
I think so because I think
Yeah.
he wants them to hook up and get married.
That was kind of fucked up. I didn't like that. Cause she's like what, 14? I guess it was the same age as Daenerys
Tec-
when she went off with.
Technically, yes, but I think they retcon it for the. I think they retcon it for us to be she's like 18
Yeah.
because 16 was the age of an adult back in the day.
I thought it was like 12 or 13.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess one thing I would say I don't like about it. I don't know if I want to get to this yet.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I guess it kind of just I guess it's the bridge between that and Game of Thrones. I wish they would have done this better. Like, how come they have saddles for their dragons, and they didn't, and Daenerys didn't?
Because they had their
come on.
dragons, and Daenerys hadn't had dragons for 100 and so years. So why would they have saddles just laying around?
And I think Daenerys wanted to ride the dragons just like the who are the horse guys?
Oh, okay.
Dothraki. Just like the Dothraki didn't want to wear a saddle. Just like
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I was like, well, even if yeah, I get that. I thought about that, like with the dragons not being there for so long. Maybe they never made why have these dragon saddles laying around if you don't have dragons?
She likes to ride it bare.
But yeah, and then I'm guessing like the design might be in some book in the Citadel or something, and could have got it that way, or or it'd be like Tyrion. He had the blueprints for Brandon.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's a way that could have happened if they wanted to, but it does make sense that she wanted to ride like the Dothraki.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I could see that maybe she wanted one eventually, but just never. By the time she was riding it, it was kind of too late. She was going full saddle or full no saddle. She was dedicated.
Dedicated full no saddle.
Hopefully, we get to see more dragons.
I mean, I think that's the whole point of this show is the dragons.
Yeah.
Now, is this going to tell us how they died off?
Yes.
Maybe.
I figured it would. I mean, I figured it would if that's because they had.
I really don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
So.
I think it was cool that it showed that the King Viserys, like he couldn't get burned, and I wonder if any of the other, or if Daemon can.
Maybe, because it seemed to be like one of those powers that they were losing because of maybe they just lost the power because they didn't have the dragons anymore. Oh, but they didn't show any of the other ones not being able to.
Yeah.
So. I like how they. I don't know about you, Mikey, but I really enjoyed, or you two. I really enjoyed the whole jousting scenes.
Dude, that freaking ruled.
It was better than the jousting in Knight's Tale.
I don't know about that. That's a classic. I love Knight's
Tale. And then they just break out into a brawl and start killing each other. I was like, what the heck? Where's the Hound to step in on this?
That's funny.
Well, did you see the afterward thing where they talked about, they're already celebrating the birth of a child and maybe it's kind of premature. And
yeah.
This brutally masculine, manly thing, and then, they die.
I thought the baby survived.
No.
It never did at the start.
It stopped crying, and when he was holding it behind the king, the maester.
That dragon didn't burn him up. Remember, she gave the command, and she was like, light it up. And
I didn't notice.
Targaryen, she
They-
said, light it up. That dragon just
Yeah, they
lit
had
him
a
up.
little. They had like a little thing to signify the baby.
Little bundle. Okay.
Yeah, it was
I never
laying next
noticed
to the
it.
mother.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but like in today's world, if the baby turns or whatever, yeah, it's just an easy C-section. Maybe not easy, but back then it's like, well, we
That
got
was
to kill the mother to save.
That was it. That was like just a no med C-section was what that was.
I had milk of the poppy.
Not enough.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, that would hurt. How did she not pass out from like pain and shit?
She did, and she died.
No, she didn't pass. No, she
They
didn't pass
frickin-
out. She was screaming the
They
whole time.
frickin' gutted her like somebody looking for frickin' caviar.
That's what happens when you swallow the key. Oh, what are you gonna do now? Well, I'm just gonna cut you open now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Saw.
Yeah.
Yes, they dig around in there. Ugh, that's brutal.
Yeah, show's good. First episode down. We'll talk more next week, I guess, on it.
It was really good. I really,
Yeah.
I really liked it. Like I didn't feel like it drug at any point.
No, I really do think Game of Thrones is back full throttle. All gas,
I just
no
hope
brakes.
they didn't shoot their load in the first episode, because they talked about that in the after show, was that they wanted to, kind of grab people and say that Game of Thrones is back, and here it is.
Well,
I was. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, George. Everyone who's gotten like early access to everything, George R. R. Martin, some reviewers that I trust, they all say it's really good. And if George R. R. Martin gives his blessing for it, then
So he's got floppy
I'll
wieners in it. Wiener. See, according to South Park.
Speaking of songs, I was surprised I didn't hear like. I was kind of happy they didn't go with like the original like Game of Thrones opening,
yeah.
but I also wanted to have another opening. It didn't
But
really have.
they'll probably give us one this time
Yeah,
or the next episode.
or the next episode. But they did have it at the end. But they had like the words to the song, or they were just making noises.
I noticed they used some of the other from Game of Thrones.
The Wieners version.
No,
Yeah.
some Targaryen themes.
Oh.
It was usually like the after an epic episode music. That's how I always saw
I
that.
know.
that
I know
music.
they used like the same kind of music, like when when she was flying into the dragon or something.
Yeah.
I'm stoked, and I like the fact that they come out once a week, so that
I
you
wish-
don't have to sit and binge watch everything. And
The one thing I miss is like the Game of Thrones parties we used to have. Granted, it turned into just me and Mikey there towards the end, but back when it was like season 3, season 4, 5, 6 of us.
that was
all,
can't miss TV, right?
Yeah, it was because you never had a chance to rewatch it
No.
unless you had HBO. You had no chance to rewatch it.
Yeah, they didn't have a streaming service back then. Holy shit!
No, we had to
That's
watch
so
it
old.
on HBO.
God, that feels
You
like
could watch it on
that
demand.
feels like
You could-
20 years ago.
They had like
God damn.
they had, or did he? I don't. My brother, maybe my brother.
They had,
DVR'd
you
the
could
first season.
DVR it, but then like Comcast or Xfinity had like their play, like you could stream it if you had HBO or whatever.
Maybe that's what it was.
I kept it. Yeah, I kept it on DVR. I just recorded it and kept it on DVR.
Because we
That's
watched
what
the
I
first
did.
season, right, like a week or two before season 2 started.
I watched season 1. My friend Tyler at Purdue ripped it and put it all in a flash drive, and I watched all of season 1 in like 2 days. Then it was like halfway through season 2, and I caught up on season 2. And then I found somebody that had HBO, and then that kind of fell apart for some reason. I don't remember what happened with that friendship. But then Mikey had HBO, and we watched it at his parents' house. And then we watched Silicon Valley afterwards because
Yeah.
that was when Silicon Valley was amazing too. I thought the last season of Silicon Valley sucked, but that's a story. That's for a different day.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I did have to.
watched.
I did have to lighten up my TV though when they went through the
Oh.
city to wipe all those people out, all the
Dude,
criminals.
that's just old age.
Yeah, you just need
It
to
was
like
too
get
dark.
better
I wanted
eyes.
to see the violence, man. So I had to lighten up the
You
screen.
just need to get better eyes.
That's impossible. I've had these horrible eyes since I was a little boy.
Well, go
My
back
vision-
in time and tell your
my
that
vision has
little boy
always
to get
sucked.
better.
Eat more carrots.
Right. Yeah.
Just get night vision with eating all them carrots.
I saw a Gilligan's Island episode yesterday where they ate food that was like nuclear waste seeds, and Marianne ate all the carrots, and she could see for like hundreds of miles away. They were radioactive vegetable seeds. So everybody had powers. Hers was vision.
What's that?
All right, House Targaryen, let's ride.
Oh God, you're on that.
That was hilarious. I laughed my butt off when I saw that.
Yeah. I thought it was a stroke of genius.
I wish Russell Wilson or the Broncos liked it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe if I would have. Oh, well.
It's a lame-o AFC
Yeah.
West anyway. Piece of crap team.
I watched another movie today, a really good movie. I think you guys mentioned it last week. I can't remember if you mentioned it or we, talked about it somewhere else. I don't remember. But Day Shift with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. I watched it.
I think Chris watched it last
Yeah, I
week.
watched it.
Oh yeah, you kind of just mentioned it in passing, but I watched it today with Kimberly. It was really, really good.
Yeah, it's not bad. I liked it.
Kind of cheesy acting, but that the action was pretty good. It was hilarious. I don't know what else to say. It really is. Netflix either makes a good movie or the most complete shit movie you'll ever see. There's no in between.
So was it like a satirical, like zombie movie? It didn't like really take it
Did
serious.
Did you ever
you
see
could take it.
Abraham
Oh.
Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Yeah,
It's
like
the same thing.
It's like that one.
They actually have a portrait of him in one of the scenes. Him and the other guy,
That's
the guy that trained him. They have their portraits. So I kind of think they're trying to say it's a spiritual successor. I don't know if it's actually a sequel. I don't know if it's actually made by the same people, but I think it's supposed to be a sequel.
Yeah. Right.
Snoop Dogg. I wish Snoop Dogg would have actually died instead of survived. He went out pretty awesome. I'll have to send it to you, but he made like a W with his fingers and said West Side as he blew himself up.
Hell yeah.
I just thought that was a badass scene, and he should have went out with that.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right. We'll stay with Netflix. I've been watching The Sandman.
Yeah, how is that?
How is it? I've been hearing
I
good things
like
about
it. I like it. It's different. Like, it was hard to get into the first episode because it kind of set up the whole series of like what he does and what he's going to do throughout the whole series and whatnot. So it was kind of like it took a lot of attention to watch that first episode, but after that, it kind of was pretty good. I think the most recent episode I watched, one of them, he goes down to hell. That one was a pretty good episode. I liked it. But I love all it's got a lot of CGI and stuff, and I think they really did a good job on that. Like, it looks really cool. It's got some funny parts in it, but
I'm trying to think if
I like
I watched the last episode of that Icons that they were talking about. Lucas making the Star Wars, So they did Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith in this episode. And Lucas was upset because he had to cut, like, he was really late writing it because he had to cut Jar Jar out because everybody hated Jar Jar Binks at that point. And they talked about how they said there were too many Attack of the Clones. There were way too many action scenes because you had, I don't know, I've only seen that movie once or twice. They said there were too many action scenes to keep everybody. What's the word I'm looking for? It was hard to invest in people because there were so many action scenes or something like that. They feel like, a lot of people feel like he could have made one movie by just taking bits and pieces of all three movies instead of making three movies. And the writing was horrible. The script is horrible, especially everybody talks about the sand that's everywhere, you know. I hate sand. It's everywhere. They get that. And then they were talking about when they made the clones. And this was the first movie ever made on digital, was Attack of the Clones. It was 100% digital cameras. That had never been done before. So, because Lucas was always an innovator, you know, his special effects from Star Wars was an innovator in that. So he wanted to do that. Then he wanted to CGI everything. So they were asking him, people in his crew were saying, well, we got to make uniforms for the clones. He says, no, we're not. He says, we're doing everything CGI. So he goes to a CGI guy. And they said, well, first they're like, are you sure that's practical? And he's like, yeah, we're just going to CGI all the clones. It'll be great. So he goes to a CGI guy and he says, I need you to make the clones. He says, aren't you going to make uniforms and use real people as well as CGI? And he says, no. And his CGI guy says, that doesn't sound very practical. So even his crew were thinking that he was going in a little bit over his head with the CGI, because the whole movie's CGI. Everything about it is CGI.
The sand is not CGI because it gets everywhere.
But then they were talking about how, so when the movie was edited, the first 3 episodes, which was from A New Hope to Jedi, was done by his wife, right, Marcia Lucas she's the one that put the movie together. So they split up. So when he went back and made the first 3 movies, somebody else put it together. And they said that, and this is true, the characters are just kind of one-dimensional. Like there's no love for them. There's no wholesome. Like, you don't give a shit. Do you really give crap about any of them? No, not like
Obi-Wan.
you do. Well, let me get to that one in a second. So, but everybody just kind of, there's no warmth to the movie at all. There should be warmth, at least in episode 2, when they're romancing each other and falling in love and getting married. And there's none of that. And they said that was Marcia's special touch. She was able to convey that in her editing. In fact, she did that when Vader throws the Emperor over the railing to save Luke. That was her idea. So there was none of that in any of these 3 movies, and they talk about that, and it's very true. You really don't have any. You could really give a crap, but one guy says that McGregor just kind of mails in the performance. If he'd have put a little bit more oomph into the Obi-Wan character, it might have helped save the first 3 movies. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he said.
I will disagree with you because I think the first.
No, that's what somebody else said. I didn't say that. But did you know that Attack of the Clones was not the #1 film when it came out?
No.
It's the only Star Wars film that was not #1 at the box office. It got beat out by Spider-Man.
Well, there you go.
But it shouldn't get beat out by Spider-Man.
No, Spider-Man. Which Spider-Man? The original Spider-Man?
Yeah, the one with Tobey Maguire.
Well, there you go. It got beat out by arguably one of the best superhero movies of all time.
I get that, but as a Star Wars movie, it shouldn't.
Well, it did. So
And Lucas, like there's a shot of Lucas, and he says I think we made the wrong choice here. So he knew he was in trouble.
So are
I
they
think
saying that his wife or ex-wife sabotaged the movie?
no. She didn't edit the last 3 movies. He doesn't have anything to do with her.
Oh.
He won't even talk to her anymore.
Oh, I thought you were saying that she like actively like sabotaged
No,
editing.
had she been a part of those movies, it probably would have brought. She probably would have done a better job than whoever put the movie together.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
She was just that good at it. That was her That was her talent. She was just that good. She brought. You cared about every character in those Star Wars movies. You could care less about anybody in those movies. And they're right. They're right. Those movies are very flawed. And it is true. You could take bits and pieces of all 3 movies and make one good movie out of it. That's not a lie. I firmly believe that.
Yeah, I can agree.
But
I can agree that you could do that, but why do that when you have 3 good movies?
3 shitty movies, 2
3
and a
good
half.
movies.
One good movie and 2 shitty movies.
2.5 good movies.
What's the second good movie?
Episode 3 is the best.
Yes, that's for sure.
Half of episode 2.
Well, that's one. Okay, so that's 1.5.
And then episode 1
is not good at all.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yeah.
No.
They
even talk about they thought about how racially insensitive some of the characters are. Like you had the 2 guys that talked like Asian people. Then Watto seemed like this cheap Jewish guy, which is true. And I even brought that up because he sounds like the guy from The Godfather Part 2. As this Jewish mobster, this cheap Jewish mobster. He was a cheapskate. So there's all kind of flaws. As much as you don't want to hear it, there's all kind of flaws with episode 1. George R.
talk
Binks
about
being-
the original series, how racially insensitive it is.
Which part?
There's only one black guy in the entire series.
So there's only one black guy in the entire series in the last 3.
There's Finn.
And then there's only one black guy in the first 3.
That's Mace. You got Rose. The engineer that ruined the Last Jedi. I'm not gonna say
She's
she
not
ruined
black.
it.
I liked her character.
I
She
think
got
her character could have been better if they didn't go to that stupid casino world, or if they made that casino world.
Oh,
better.
dude, that casino world was terrible.
They could have changed up that casino world and made it better. I think.
The thing that bothered me was those kids, like in the stalls, were using the Force, and we never heard about them kids again.
Nope.
That they left that whole thing just hanging.
Have you guys ever actually read or heard about like what Rise of Skywalker was actually supposed to be like?
No.
It was supposed to mostly take place on Coruscant, with Finn leading a rebellion against the First Order.
Really?
And then Rey is training with Luke. Luke's Force Ghost and comes back to fight Supreme Leader Kylo.
Oh.
Supreme Leader Ren, I guess.
Well, they had to change it up when Jar Jar sucked, and instead of he was supposed to be like some head of honcho for episode 2, right?
Yeah, he was.
But they got so much backlash when Padme went back home. They left him at the dock. That's exactly what they did. And Anthony Daniels, forget what he says about all the first 3 episodes because he hates them. Because he's not even in. His voice is only in episode 1. He's just that other thing's a puppet.
Jar Jar?
No. Anthony Daniels plays C-3PO.
Oh.
It's just his voice in episode 1. He's not in that. That's just a puppet.
Well, yeah, because it's naked.
Yeah.
'Cause
But I
the
guess
CG
they
got
had
made.
Well, they had in episode 2, they cut it out, and they said they should have never cut out the scene. There's a scene where Padme puts the armor, the gold plates, on C-3PO, and
That
they
would have
talk
been a nice.
exactly. That's a good wholesome
Well,
scene.
There's
And it
whole parts of episode 3 they cut out that really kind of helped the story along.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
that like all of a sudden like C-3PO shows up and he's got the plates on.
well, they do that with other things in Star Wars too. Like all of a sudden, there's something different, and we just accept it.
I will not accept the new versions. Those are crap.
The dewbacks, they've always been there.
No, they have not always been there. I've got a DVD somewhere of the original.
I
Movie.
know. I've seen the original. I've seen the original. My uncle had the trilogy on VHS.
Yeah, I've got it on VHS somewhere too.
That VHS is probably degraded by now.
The original.
Yeah,
But
VHS only lasts about 20 to 30 years.
a lot of people on even in Lucas's camp were saying that he really went overboard with the CGI, and I've been saying that forever. There's nothing organic about the movie. None of them. Was he an innovator? Yes, obviously, because now everybody. And when he sold his original special effects company, that is what Pixar is now. Pixar started as Lucas's company, and then he sold it. So, it was really good. It was really good thing it was really neat how they showed the behind the scenes stuff and how they put it together and how there were conflicts and it wasn't smooth, especially the CGI versions, the shitty versions.
Anybody? Did anybody watch anything else? Or have anything else?
Yeah, did we watch Hard Knocks? Did you watch Hard Knocks?
No.
Mike, you watch Hard Knocks?
Yeah.
You know who Blau reminds me of?
No.
He reminds me of Philip Rivers. Because he'll mess up on the field and he'll go, gosh darn it. Oh, fudge. Oh, shoot.
Well, I mean,
Which is, that's exactly what Philip Rivers was like. Because he fumbled that football. Fudge.
I guess. I mean, he probably does know he's been filmed and stuff and watched. I don't know.
You think his mom and dad, you don't want to swear in front of his mom and dad?
Probably, yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Maybe he doesn't want to swear in front of kids. And he knows kids watch it.
I don't know. It don't stop anybody else.
Yeah,
It was a really good show, though.
they probably would have bleeped it out or not even put it in there in the first place. But
Shoot, freaking Deuce Staley. Every other word is a swear word.
yeah, it is HBO too. So
Yes,
they did put some curse words in it. I don't know.
it's a good episode. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. They got beat at home though. I don't know where they played Game 3. They got beat, and they won in Indianapolis.
But we
Yeah.
lost that game?
Yes.
Then we went for 2. I mean,
Oh.
so yeah, we could have easily tied it. But who wants to tie a freaking preseason game? Nobody.
It's the preseason. I've seen the Colts go, lose every game in the preseason and then go deep into the playoffs.
Yeah, and I've seen them win every game in the preseason and win 4 games all year. So, see, you can't go by preseason.
I mean, yeah, and it was good that the Colts they went down and scored a touchdown. I mean, within the last 2 minutes or whatever. So that's good. Speaking of, I don't know if we want quickly. I want to ask Chris this. What do you? Okay. The big news is Tom Brady could have been a Raider.
That's what I hear. Brady and Gronk both could have been.
No,
a Raider.
it's true. I mean, it's been
I heard
uh,
it, but I didn't hear the story behind it.
Gronk. You know, it was Gronk confirmed it. So did Michael Lombardi. They all confirmed. I mean, and everything that happened in free agency that we heard at like Tom Brady's camp, I guess it all kind of lines up with it. Like he kind of wanted to be a Raider, and then John Gruden shot it down.
Really?
Kind of ruined it. I don't know like the details in it, but I mean it was factual, and
I believe it.
and the whole thing when I don't know what podcast was it where Tom Brady's like, "You're gonna stick with that fucking guy over me?" He was talking about Derek Carr, calling Derek Carr shit compared to
I
him.
mean, I don't know how to take it honestly because I think Tampa all they needed was a quarterback. They had a good team.
Really, the two teams that Tom Brady probably should have went to was Tampa or the Colts. The Colts had a young but win now team, just like they do now, but they went with Rivers.
But I don't see them winning with Brady. I don't think you're going to plug him in and he's going to win in Las Vegas.
No, Vegas. You guys needed too many people.
You're
I agree.
gonna get the Raiders were gonna get Brady and Gronk.
I
Yeah, but that's
understand that,
not-
but their defense is shit. So what's it matter? They would have to put up 60 points a game because they were getting burnt like toast. Plus, how often have you seen Carr had to run for his life, except for maybe last year?
That's why. Yeah, you guys finally got a competent line now. but
Exactly. So
Your defense still isn't.
it's supposed to. Well, they picked up a lot of people on free agency this year, so they're looking to.
The AFC is so stacked this year.
I still think San Diego's overrated. I'm just saying.
Well, I think San Diego's overrated. And I don't think the Bills are going to do any better this year.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bills picked up anybody to do any better. I think they kind of just kept the same.
Yeah,
team.
Von Miller.
Von Miller, as in like the old guy who's not really, he's not the Von Miller that won an MVP anymore. I don't think he's the piece they needed to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
They need another They need another receiver. They need a running back. I don't think they solved that.
That's the one thing. Like, speaking of wide receivers, that's the one thing I'm worried the Colts won't have to go very far.
Did they ever
I
pick
think
Hilton back up?
I haven't heard anything, but even if they did, I don't know how much a difference he would make. I mean, I think the Colts are good on every front except the wide receiver. I think, let's say they have a B, maybe A at every single other position, but I think truly it's a D at the wide receiver position.
Pittman needs to have a breakout year this year.
Well, yeah, if they have a good offensive line.
We'll see how far Matt Ryan can get him, but it's probably going to be a heavy running back thing again.
Who's in that division? That's Houston, Tennessee,
Yeah,
and Jacksonville.
We definitely
probably
should win the division. Yeah,
Tennessee's not what they
except
used to be.
Except against Houston, they won't be Houston.
And they won't beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville.
They won't beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville either.
I don't think I've ever seen them beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville in the longest time.
That was a stat last December. It's been like 4 seasons since or something like that. It's been forever since they won.
Probably since Luck ran for his life.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this year, but we got one more preseason game.
2 weeks. Yeah, we're 2 weeks away from the regular season.
It's the season. Yeah, we got next week's preseason this week coming up, and then that's it, right?
Yeah.
College football starts back up.
Yeah.
Did you see the deal the Big Ten signed with NBC?
What was it, a couple $1 billion?
It was $8 billion.
I thought it was NBC, Fox, and like CBS or
No, it's NBC and Peacock and like
Yeah,
they're gonna
same
NBC's
thing.
gonna have a Big Ten Saturday night game. So
I thought it was on different. They're on different networks as well.
no, it's strictly NBC. It's an $8 billion deal.
No, it's on Peacock and other things.
Well, Peacock's owned by NBC.
I know, but the way you're saying is it's just on like NBC TV.
Well, no, they're showing games on Peacock as well. You'll be able to watch games on Peacock.
Yeah, and Notre Dame still hasn't joined a division.
They're stupid.
Right here. Look, Big Ten announces historic TV rights deal with CBS, Fox, NBC,
Yeah,
and NBC Universal Peacock. That's what I said. I said it's got all three of them.
everything but ESPN.
No,
Yes,
you were saying NBC.
I thought it was
only.
just NBC.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, fuck ESPN. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, they can show cornhole and
Dodgeball again.
yeah,
This
$8 billion. Fox, FS1, CBS, NBC, and Big Ten Network.
Crazy.
Take the Big Ten to 29-30 academic year. 7-year agreements.
Yeah, but now the Big Ten also has USC and UCLA and
Conference also announced a deal with Peacock and the direct-to-consumer. Peacock will exclusively stream 4 conference football games per year in a difference to 4 non-conference games involving Big Ten teams. CBS and NBC are each paying around $350 million per year for their Big Ten packages, and their Big Ten's new rights agreements are worth more than $8 billion over a 7-year term. Jeez. Each contract is for 7 years, which means the Big Ten will go to market again before the SEC's new contract with ESPN expires in 2034. For the first time in 40 years, ESPN will not broadcast Big Ten football and basketball games. Good.
well,
Coverage sucks anyway.
that's probably retaliation to them having the SEC only rights.
And we get USC and UCLA in 2024. How about that?
Yep, I'm excited for that. But Notre Dame needs to join the Big Ten because that's where all the rivalries are. Michigan, Michigan State, USC.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think the ACC is going to be around any much longer. I think the ACC is going to split and join either the SEC or the Big Ten.
You can't have that. You can't have just 2 conferences.
So there's still the Pac-12.
Is there a Pac-12? What was USC and UCLA?
Pac-12, same as Texas.
Oh, there you go.
I think all the Pac-12 has anymore is Washington and Seattle or Oregon.
The Ducks.
Back when they were actually, they're always a dangerous team, but I don't think they have much anymore since Chip Kelly left. Chip Kelly's still at UCLA, isn't he?
I have no idea.
I don't even know.
I don't keep up with college football. I don't care about it.
How can you not care about college football, man? That's some of the best games, man.
No.
Yes. It is.
College football, I think, is more entertaining sometimes than pro because
I think it is too.
I think it's better than XFL and CFL
Chip Kelly's
and
Chip
USFL. But
Chip Kelly coaches UCLA.
Yeah, and then the old Notre Dame coach is at LSU now.
Right. But no, dude, like the Iron Bowl, man. Some of them SEC games are so good. Those rivalries are huge. Everybody talks about Purdue and IU. Yeah, no, Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, Florida, Georgia. That's the way it is. That's just the way it is.
Well, the IU Purdue game for football isn't even really that entertaining.
No, because one team always sucks. Like it doesn't matter. Like it never goes. That should be the last game of the season. That should be like who goes to the Rose Bowl. Well, should have went meant who goes to the Rose Bowl, but it never does because the Rose Bowl don't matter anymore except certain time of certain year, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Anybody have shower thoughts?
I watched Dragon Ball Super.
Oh, how'd it go?
Super.
Yeah, superhero. Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
Is it a cartoon?
Yes.
Did you watch it in Kokomo, or did you go somewhere?
Yes. It
Okay.
costs like twice as much to go though.
The
Shut
Fathom
up!
event or
Are you
whatever.
Yeah.
kidding me?
No.
$12 for anime?
Yep.
Was it a Phantom event?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I'll
I
be
asked him.
darned.
I was like, "This seems a little bit more expensive." He said, "Yeah, it's a Fathom event. They kind of make up their own prices and whatnot." I was like, "Oh, okay."
So we
The
get freaking
closest-
super duper Dragon Ball, but we can't get Rift Tracks here in town.
Yeah.
What the
It's
crud?
the number one movie this weekend.
The closest for me is Dayton, which is over an hour. Well, not really, actually.
It's really good. I loved it. Except some of it was I kind of was going through TikTok and it spoiled like something of it, and I was like, oh, shit. But it really wasn't that bad. Whatever I got spoiled wasn't really like that bad, but I kind of saw it coming. Anyway, but the animation is spot on. I love the story. Had great humor. And I'm glad it wasn't like just about like I know a lot of other movies. It's like, oh, let's get Goku out here. He can do it. It's not about that at all.
Oh.
Like it's got all the other fighters.
Oh.
It's got the actual Z Force.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, we have to get Goku here, and then they kind of tried, and they're like, all right, let's just do it ourselves. So. 'Cause he's
Was he even in the movie?
Yeah, they showed Goku and Vegeta and Beerus and
Somebody
He's-
once told me.
yeah, they
showed
basically
them, but it
showed
was
they
just
showed
to get them
everyone.
to 5 minutes.
Yeah, it showed fuck. Fuck. It was awesome. I can't wait to see like the next series because I hope they kind of bring in all these elements they kind of introduced in here because that'd be awesome. Fuck, that was awesome. Orange Piccolo. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Oh no! It's
Orange
damn.
Piccolo
I
is
can't.
awesome.
Now it's spoiled.
Yeah.
Whatever shall I do?
What am I gonna do?
Orange Piccolo.
Never seen it.
Yeah.
There you go, dude. I went to the IndyCar race on Saturday, right? Which had been all fine and dandy had it not rained during the race, because we were in St. Louis, right? Well, outside of St. Louis. So they moved the race time up because they were expecting rain. It was supposed to rain all day. It rained for like 10 minutes, and in the afternoon, but they got the track dry, and they got the race starting at 5 o'clock, which is 6 o'clock here in Kokomo, right, or Indiana. So it's a 260 lap race, and on like lap 217, it starts raining. So it rained like 10, 15 minutes. It takes them 2 hours to drive the track, which it was worth the wait because the ending was epic, like epic. What a great race. But so we get right out. It's a 4 hour drive, right? So if had the race gone off at full 260 laps, we would have left at 8:30. We'd probably gotten on the road by 9, right? So that's 10, 11, 12, 1. We'd have been home by 1:30, right? Well, we get on the road and it's 10 o'clock our time, and we drive into a freaking monsoon. Did it rain in Indiana? Like hard? Like, was there a storm here?
Not here. Well,
Right.
yeah, there was. There was a tornado in Winchester.
Oh, really? Dude, we drove into this monsoon, and I was driving like for an hour and a half. I was driving like at 40, 45 mile an hour on the interstate. because it was raining that hard. Lightning, thunder, and because we were going west to east, it just kind of followed us the whole time. So I think it quit raining, when we hit the split between 31 and 931, south of town. That's when it quit raining. Because it was lightning pretty good. So I got home and in bed at like 4:30. So I'm tired now. And I don't know why I keep doing this shit because I'm not 25 years old anymore.
Telling your boss you skipped work to go to a race.
Hey, shut up. I didn't. I was sick. I was really sick.
Sure, sick of that drive.
I am sick of that drive, dude. I'm so tired of 2 weeks. Less than 2 weeks now. And I become Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine. I might just give me a robe and just sit in my robe all the time. And if somebody knocks on the door, I'll just open the door and say, "Hello there," So, we'll see. But it's shitty because, not shitty, but it is. But I got Korn and Evanescence on Wednesday night this night. Oh, dude, we saw Breaking Benjamin. Mikey, you talk about this concert.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Alice in Chains?
Not really.
He just sat down on the blanket and like he was like meditating or something. I don't know.
I was tired and I didn't really care. I didn't really care for Alice in Chains. My feet were starting to hurt, and I didn't really care for Alice in Chains too much.
You didn't like him?
No, I liked, like, of course, their hit songs.
The
like
hits,
Man,
right.
Yeah, but other than that, it was like, yeah.
Bush was good.
I think I used all my energy like
for Breaking
for
Benjamin.
Breaking Bad or Breaking Benjamin. Yeah.
That was a good show. Gavin Rossdale came out on the stage. He was all the way back in the lawn with us. I've got a picture of him.
Oh
Like
yeah.
a really good picture of
My
Gavin
cousin
Rossdale.
touched him.
Yeah, your cousin touched him. She was going nuts. I touched Gavin Rossdale. It was pretty awesome.
She's going to that Korn concert as well this week.
Yeah, I know a lot of people going to that Korn concert.
She invited me, but I don't want to like
go.
It's too late to request like Thursday off. I don't want to stay up that late and then wake up so early.
See, you took off the next day, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I got home and I got in bed at 1:30, and I had to be at work at 8 the next morning. Right? That's all. That's not bad. I can kind of handle that. This week, I gotta be at work at 6:15, and I know I'm not gonna get home again at 1:30.
Yeah, I usually start work at 6 around there.
By the time I take Josie home and get home, and yeah, it's gonna be shit. I am gonna be shit that day. I know it.
But you work 8 hours, so I work 10 hours at least.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it's 10 hours.
Yeah.
Driving that friggin' bus all over town. And then I'm trying to be like, Josie's like, I'm tired. I'm going to go home from school early. And I'm like, you lightweight. Meanwhile, I'm dying, all day long. But I don't tell her that. Like, you're lightweight. You can't even stay at school.
Yeah.
So, that was a good show. Really good show. But yeah, I know a lot of people going to Korn and Evanescence. And a couple other bands. It starts at 5:30, so I don't think we're going to get there that early. Because I'm working that day. So I'll get off at 3, and then we'll head down. Like last week.
You're going with Josie again?
Yeah, we're going to see Korn and Evanescence.
Again. This time in Indy and not Fort Wayne.
Right, and we're really excited to see Evanescence. That was kind of like the over the edge was seeing Evanescence.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're pretty stoked. So, and then I can just sleep for hours on Saturday. That's my goal. Good. So we'll see what happens. So, Mike, you have a shower thought? Anything?
No.
I got it.
I thought of some things earlier today or yesterday, and I just didn't write them down.
1 second. Let me I'll find one.
Oh, what's the deal with this Ezra Miller guy?
We'll leave that for a different day. He's just
Okay, because I just watched
Yeah.
Perks of a Wallflower last night, which is a really good movie, but he's in it with Emma Thompson.
Mhm.
Paul Rudd plays the teacher. It's a really good movie. But I keep on hearing this thing about Ezra Miller, and I wouldn't need to discuss that because I don't know the story behind it. I think he fell off the deep end or
He's
something.
a weirdo. Yeah.
He's a groomer. Let's put it that way.
Oh.
I like how you said that. Oh. You said it so quick.
I
too.
got it. I got one. Serial killers must love self checkout at hardware stores.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. I mean, Michael Myers broke into a hardware store, but
Or if you just hear the words like you say it, like I'm not looking at the words on paper, they must love milk as well.
why?
Cereal.
Ah!
That's such a
Yeah.
dad joke.
Kids are the most expensive thing you can get for free.
Time?
Time is $9.50.
What?
You said the most expensive thing you can get for free.
Kids are the most expensive thing you can get
Oh,
for free.
Oh,
my answer was time, but okay.
yeah. Then you're like $9.50. I'm like, I got told you.
Because I thought he was
Kids-
asking for the time
I know.
Kids are the most expensive thing that's free.
that you can get for free.
I don't have
Not-
to
not
get
a lot.
anything. I can like run and
But
just
they're
pay-
expensive because they're expensive to.
yeah, just for the woman that I leave after I take.
Yeah,
What
and
is
then
it-
that you
Steve,
get the
It's only
check.
expensive for her. I don't have to worry about it.
Anyway.
I mean, what
That's
if
awful.
you pay for it? You pay
Oh
for
shit!
the
Like you pay
for
like
you pay for the woman, and then hey, guess what? You get a kid now
you do.
because you didn't wrap it.
You do. It's called dinner, bowling, movie,
Yeah.
wedding. They suck the life out of you. You pay for it for the rest of your life.
Figuratively and
Yeah. Says
Hopefully.
the guy who's happily married with a family. I know nothing about it. I'm just sounding bad on purpose. If anything I say, I don't really.
No, you honestly believe what you're saying. That's why you're saying it.
Hey, I would love to have had kids.
I didn't trust that fart. I had a fart come, and then I pushed it. I was like, oh, I better not push it.
Yeah, he pooped himself.
Almost.
Chris pooped himself.
Anyways,
I bet
thanks.
you can't. I'll challenge you.
Nah, you win. I got to end
Yes.
this because I know 3 of us got to wake up early for work. At least
Yeah.
me and Mikey. I don't know about
Yeah.
Chris. Works
Yeah, I
like
gotta be up
probably.
at 5. I gotta go to 6:15.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Kiss my ass.
I got to get up that early anyways, too.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. You can catch us at Pod Nerds at Twitter, Facebook at Hoosier Nerds Podcast. You can watch and listen to us at YouTube or your favorite podcasting site, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, and Amazon.
Yeah.
And you'll never know we're your nerds.